Hey everybody, welcome to Common Sense with Dr. Bill. I've noticed ever since the beginning of STAR and even TAX when they had grid responses that the students panic when it comes to moving from the multiple choice to the open-ended world where the answer is not there right in front of them. And I think that's one of the reasons why the state moved away from 100% multiple choice and more towards the continuing the grid responses and also adding the non-multiple choice that each grade level has, anywhere between 7 to 9 non-multiple choice questions, depending on each grade level. So what I want to show you today is sometimes for the kids who struggle with subtraction, we have to teach them a different way because they're not gifted and talented when it comes to subtraction. So we have to use what they are good at, addition, and many of you call it guess and check. So what I'm going to show you in today's video is how to use the guess part of guess and check with addition and the check part with subtraction afterwards once your kids are confident that they have the right answer. Now, when I tell you this keyword, perimeter, perimeter, perimeter. If that's in the question and they're asking for the perimeter, then yes, many of your students are going to see that it's in the sentence with a question mark. That means they need to probably give the perimeter if they're saying, what is the perimeter? My students would immediately, when they saw that, say and do this, add up all sides. But if it was in the problem, that's when they had a problem. So perimeter being given, they had to do subtraction, which is where some kids struggle. So I'm going to show you a guess with addition and check with subtraction way. And I'm going to call it Michael Jackson's Back to the Future moving forward with the data, the numbers that you know, with addition to get to your total perimeter. Then we can check with Michael Jackson's Moonwalk working backwards with subtraction to see if that's the right answer or not. That way, there's double confidence that when you enter that grid response, you'll actually have the correct answer there. So let's take a look at the problem that I did. I will do like I've been doing and set my timer to 9 minutes so that I have to do the problem within 10 minutes or less. It'll go off at the 9 minute warning. So um, let me share my screen or else you won't be able to see it. Um, believe it's that one there. Yes. Okay. So let me move my face here so you can see me. Um, so this uh, is a third grade question, and I borrowed it from the modeling of the 2021 third grade test. It's my question 18 for those of you who are in the online recorded training uh, with me. Uh, it only got 16% correct in Texas, and you can see there the reporting category, the student expectation, and the readiness. And so, as I mentioned, when the students see, and I've highlighted it for you, when the students see that the perimeter add up all sides, well, since that's given and that's in the problem, they have to remember that they're going to probably have to subtract and do the Michael Jackson moonwalk back up from that total if they know how to subtract. But I'm going to show you a strategy to help kids who have a fear when it comes to subtraction to use the guess part, as I mentioned, with Michael J. Fox, moving forward from the numbers that you know and getting to the total with the guessing part. So let's read the entire problem so that we can know that when we move over to paper to demonstrate to our teacher that we know how to apply the strategies and execute them, uh, we won't lose any points for not showing our work. So let's read it out. We can highlight on the computer. So that's all I've done there to show you what can be done on the computer and what can be done on paper. The perimeter of the rectangular bulletin board on Mr. McDonald's classroom wall is 36 feet. Keyword feet. The width, singular, is 6 feet. And there it is, 6 feet. What is the length? Singular. And so your kids have to remember that what they need to remember here is whenever they get to the answer, they only can enter one length because it only asked them for one length. It didn't say the total length the of the top and the bottom of the bulletin board, the length being the longer side. And as you see, I went ahead and put um, the grid response that they might normally see. And the analogy that I want you to write down if you get a chance is subtraction is like Michael Jackson's moonwalk, moving backwards, which many kids struggle with. And addition is like Michael J. Fox's Back to the Future, moving forward. So again, I never want to say that there's one way, but I think sometimes we have to remember there's more than one way to solve a problem to help kids who have different ability levels to make sure as many of them grow competent. Because you can see 16%, whatever we were doing, uh, is not working when it comes to understanding uh, the length of one side when it comes to perimeter. So let me go ahead and switch to my document camera now. So you can see two things that I have for those of you who have kids who struggle. There's these keyword charts for the four operations, and you will see right here in the addition perimeter add up all sides, and you might see things like the word perimeter, of course, a border, a fence, an outer edge, anything like that. And so we actually had a bulletin board because we're wanting to maybe decorate it. All right. So understanding that, if you missed the third grade question that we just did earlier today, just kind of scroll down the page and you'll find that one about place value that only got 32%. Uh, so here is my idea on uh, Michael J. Fox's Back to the Future uh, by moving forward. Okay, so we understand that the width was 6. One side is 6, and so they're asking us for the length. And what you might make sure your kids do is put a question mark there. What are they asking? They're asking for one length, singular, one side. And so they need to be able to put that in there and along with its keyword being inches. Okay, so here's how you can apply the idea. It did say what was given, and you probably would have your kids plug that in. The total perimeter is 36 inches when you add up all sides. All right. So here's how I would teach you uh, how to do the guess with addition and the check with subtraction. So here is one way. Michael Jackson's Back to the Future. We already know that our width is 6 and that opposite sides of a rectangle and a square are similar, are the same in length. So the guess and check would be, we'll start with multiples of 5 or 10. Since the number was pretty high, the total, we'll start with 10. So 6 and 6, the two widths, plus 10 and 10 is 32. But we're looking for a total of 36. 6 and 6 plus 11 and 11 is 34. We're not quite there yet. 6 and 6 and 12 is 36. And so what happened in most cases, most of your students who knew how to subtract, they didn't give the length as in singular. They gave the lengths as in plural, the 24. So that's why I made sure I only circled one length when I was doing this Back to the Future adding, uh, and I circled one width. So the answer would be 12 inches, but let's check it, guess and check with Michael Jackson's Moonwalk. So we have our 36, and if we take away one of the 12s, because we want to find out one length only, we'll have a difference, you subtract, of 24. Then when we subtract uh, that would be uh, with both lengths. So since we only want one of the lengths, we need to subtract 12 again. So 24 minus 12 would be 12. And so if you kind of think about this, that if you have 12 and 6, that's 18. And then if you have 18 and 18 horizontally or vertically, 18, there's my warning, my 1-minute warning, you also get 36. And so that way you can tell that one length is going to be 12 inches. And something else to think about when you're talking about keywords, since we were always using the word inches, more than likely you're going to be either adding or subtracting when the keywords are the same. And I'll show you that on my mathematics chart, that for the kids who end up struggling, whenever the keyword, what are the keywords? Inches, then you probably will be either, if they're the same like that, add or subtract. Whenever the keywords are different, you might be ending up having to multiply or divide. So that's just an extra strategy to help some of your kids who struggle with operations. So there you have the idea of Michael J. Fox's Back to the Future, guessing with um, Michael Jackson's Back to the Future, checking with subtraction. And again, it's basic addition and subtraction, but you might uh, allow an opportunity for your kids to say, you know what, let's play a brain break. Let's do the moonwalk, because a lot of us struggle with working backwards, subtracting. And so the idea would be now your kids would plug in that answer choice. And so I'll share the screen very quickly so that we can see that last step. So the one length singular would be 12, which would be a 1 in the tens place and a 2, let me put that more in the center, and a 2 in the ones place, 12 and nothing else. 12 inches. So there you have it. I hope that that will help some of your kids who struggle. It's a glorified guess and check strategy. Be sure to email me or message me if you have a question, and join our Common Sense math group if you're self-contained and teach everything, or if you're a math teacher, because I will be modeling questions from third through ninth grade from now until the test to help those of you guys who just need another approach, um, who need kids to learn how to do what my math friend calls sheets that work instead of just worksheets all the time. Goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow with some fourth grade problems.